Hey guys, I'm Brandon L. Stevens of Brandon L. Stevens Law PLLC, and today we're going to be talking about an installment in the epic battle between man and machine. Now, if you ever wondered how generative AI would fare against human inventors, look no further. We're going to discuss it today. There was a very interesting publication in February of this year, 2025, in the Cambridge University Press, namely AIEDAM, in which they discussed a 48-hour design hackathon in which 5 human teams faced one AI-led team to develop a prototype that could launch a Nerf dart the furthest. Now, the human team 3 won, and they fired a foam dart 37 meters. ChatGPT's team finished second at around 14.8 meters, which was ahead of most of the human teams, but not by a large margin, and well behind the top team 3. Team 3 relied on a pneumatic launcher, which used a foot-pumped plastic bottle reservoir, a solenoid valve to dump air on command, and a long guided barrel mounted on a laser-cut tripod for precise trajectory control. That combination of store, compressed air, fast valve flow, and barrel tuning delivered the top performance and consistent aim. Now, ChatGPT's Team 6 explored air, elastic, and spring concepts, but ended on a spring cannon, a compression spring in an aluminum tube, a trigger pin yanked by a 9-volt DC motor via a fishing line, which even the publication notes was probably a dubious choice and perhaps unnecessary, plus a pivoting mount for angle adjustments. It was reliable and simple enough to place second, but with noticeably less range than the pneumatic winner of Team 3. In addition, a lot of the prototypes that ChatGPT suggested were overcomplicated, and it typically abandoned any prototype when any sort of degree of feedback was encountered. So there's key context here, which is a little bit confounding. This hackathon ran October 18th to the 19th, 2023 on ChatGPT 4.0, briefly falling back to 3.5 when the prompt cap had hit, and then returning to 4.0. The paper was published in 2025, but it reflects 2023 era ChatGPT capability, not today's tools. Also, the AI team's 2 builders were newly graduated MS students, now PhD students in the same lab, more experienced than average, which helped interpret and fix ambiguous instructions and probably led to perhaps better prompts. Now, Pneumatics Team 3 banked with more energy and released it cleanly. The tripod and barrel geometry gave repeatable trajectories, whereas ChatGPT's spring build was tidy and iterative, but it was more conventional and lacked the physics-grounded tuning that the winners had nailed: reservoir volume, valve flow, barrel length, and alignment. Furthermore, another confounding factor here is that some of the other human-led teams encountered weather-related difficulties, which significantly obstructed their experiments. So today's ChatGPT 5.0 and other modern generative AI tools keep context longer, and they can call external tools. But if we reran this today, the AI would likely avoid sizing assembly mistakes and might push closer to the top, but it can still not feel things like leaks, hear friction, or trade-off safety, manufacturability, and aesthetics like an engineer on the bench. And while it ideates in creative ways, it typically falls back in prototyping to more conventional designs. So my advice to tech companies is don't get overzealous about replacing engineers with AI. Rather, they should be used in conjunction. Use AI as an accelerator for ideation and documentation, but keep humans in charge of judgment and reduction of practice, particularly because AI can end up over-designing things. For now, human inventors remain superior even with ChatGPT 5.0. If you're integrating AI into research and development and you want a smart IP strategy, I'm Brandon L. Stevens of Brandon L. Stevens Law. You can follow me on Instagram at BLSL_PLLC and on YouTube and TikTok with the same name. Thanks, guys.